cannot build a house due to city, county, state laws. So wherever your house is, and let's say it's right along the coastline, in some of those areas, they built houses in the past, they passed the law way back when, that if your house, burns down, they don't allow you to rebuild. If that's the case, your insurance company has to pay your replacement cost coverage for your loss. That was a good law. If there are a few houses right along the beach, they've already said in the past that you can't rebuild it, you don't rebuild. It used to be they would pay you actual cash value, now they have to pay you replacement costs. Grace period for non-payment, for non-payment was 10 days, now it's 60 days. If the commissioner declares a state of emergency, in your area, a state of emergency is declared, the governor now, declares a state of emergency, they gotta pay you, allow you 60 days for non-payment of premium. Take a look at these examples and see if you have any questions for Ivan. Ivan actually was in the insurance business back in Peru, so he knows most of this stuff. So we'll see if you guys have any questions for him. You have a question for Ivan?
No, I have a question. Can we go back 2 slides?
Are you related to you know who?
I'm a distant cousin.
Who's you know?
What are you talking about?
Uno más.
Oh, you are related to him, I can tell that now.
I didn't put two down for two of them.
That's true. That's why she's a distant cousin.
Thank you.
Why'd you sign me out?
No, I didn't say no.
Somebody signed me out.
That was me.
I did it. Let me share. This guy right here.
I know.
Well, I don't know. I think you hijacked mine. So Heidi, can you see the questions and answers? Yes, okay. Can you hear me? Well, of course you can hear me if you can answer my question.
They couldn't hear well. Recording in progress.
Okay, if you can't hear well, why you got?
Does this
Why do you hijack? I like that.
Do you want to turn off the audio?
turn off? Okay, but this has a better audio than the other one.
Yeah, no, not like that.
Can everybody hear?
Anybody here? Oh, no audio, that's good.
No. Okay, can everybody hear better?
They told me already that you hear that.
Do you hear better now?
Yes.
Okay. I just,
You gotta remove it. I do not, this is Amy, I do not understand the answer for question 3 on this current slide. That can be explained, that would be great.
Oh, good job.
Excuse me.
Nope,
are you hearing an echo?
nope, I'm not
I hear
hearing.
you just fine, everything's perfect.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You got that.
I know, I have a double screen. It's fine. I'm good. No, that's fine. Looking at 2 screens at the same.
But this is supposed to just
I know.
have the participants.
I'm good. Don't hit the button.
Work on the top.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Amy, glad you asked that question. On the test, I'm trying to see which one you guys actually see, okay? So you guys, the Zoomers see once the 7 slides. On the test, we're gonna say, Ivan has 0.5 thousand to 3 people. The medical bills are 36,000, 17,000, and 6,000. So they always use 2550. They always have to get 3 people. Of the 3 numbers, only one of these 3 will be greater than 25. Because the biggest number, which is the 36, comes down to 25. So this would be 25. You add the 2 smaller numbers to it.
Thank you.
And in this case, so 25 plus 17 plus 6 is 48,000.
That makes sense, thank you.
Now, on the test, let's say this third number is 10,000. So if it said, 36, 17, and 10, now the answer cannot be more than 50. But they always use 2550, they always have to get 3 people. Only one of the 3 is greater than the 25. So this is 36, it would be 25 plus 17 and 6, which is 48. Now, if one of these other 2 numbers is bigger, but still under 25, then it can never go over 50,000. Good question to ask, and that's correct, not explain that one.
So, for the 25,000 is minimum, 50,000, what's the difference, 25,000 and 50?
50 is the most the insurance company will pay,
Okay, what's 25?
for only one person.
For one person?
Yeah.
What's 25,000?
25 means if I get 3 people, my policy cannot pay more than 25 for any one person. Were you in the class last week?
Yeah, I just wanna clarify.
Okay.
I'm not related to him.
You're a second cousin.
So for that additional, it would, if you had like an umbrella policy, then that
No, this would not have an umbrella. If this is an umbrella, then they pay the total. We paid the 36, 17, and 6.
okay.
Plus that, on the umbrella, they never look at this minimum. Yeah, it's under, on the. Okay. On that first one up here, I'm trying to just kind of get you understand, once it shows you depreciation, it becomes an actual cash value question. It's no longer a replacement question. If it doesn't have depreciation, then it's a replacement question. Gianna, am I saying that right? Gianna, that's how she pronounces her name too. Gianna. Giana.
Two nights.
So Gianna, on this particular question, what you do is you start at the bottom, the last sentence, you work your way back, and what would the answer be? So this last question is that, last sentence, how much will X have to pay for Y?
Oh,
If X is 80% and Y's damage is 5,000, 80% of 5,000 is 4,000. Okay. So most of the time we read here, but on this kind of a question, you start at the end, work your way back. Otherwise, it'll confuse you and trick you. This is on a homeless policy. We don't really sell replacement policy anymore. We sell either the extended replacement or guaranteed replacement policies. But the replacement policy, actual cash value policies, are the basic homeowner policies. So you have to understand the replacement policies. On the replacement policy, the rule is you have to insure the property at least 80% of value. That's the minimum required. A lot of times we insure 100% of value. But replacement only require you to insure 80% of value. ask you, if your house is worth $100,000, then 80% of $100,000 is $80,000. You're insured for $60,000, they're saying you're acting as a co-insurer with the insurance company. Now they're only gonna pay part of the loss.
You have to use that formula.
You have to use that formula. Probably should put it on the next slide. So this one is, insurance divided by worth times 80%. Insurance is 60,000, worth is 100,000, 8% of 100,000, 80,000. So it's 60,000 over 80,000, which is 3/4. 3/4 of any number is 75%. So 75% of 40,000 becomes 30,000. So it's what they did have divided by what they should have, times the loss equals what they pay. If there's a deductible, which they never put a deductible yet.
Excuse me, ladies.
On the
It's
south
very
side, then
distracting.
that would be the answer. So 60 over 80, 3/4, which is 75%. 75% times 40,000 is 30,000. Okay, on that one. You guys ever sell replacement policies, always the guaranteed extended replacement?
I don't know.
Most insurance companies don't sell replacements anymore, usually extended or guaranteed. This is that one we just did a little bit ago. Sharon, what's the answer?
48.
Wow, it looks like the same numbers.
It is the same. But I still calculated just in
Look.
case. Yeah. No, you were next. There it is. 3
What's the next one?
on the third.
Oh, it's a little bit different numbers. I was gonna change it around again. So, they always use 25/50. Of these three, only one is gonna be greater than the 25, it cannot be more than 25 for any one person. So 25 plus 15 is 40, plus 8 is 48,000. Now again, if this guy's 37, this guy is 15, and this guy is 10, then the answer would be 50,000. If this guy is 37, this guy is 15,000, this guy is 12,000, then it's still 50. We never pay more than this number, the 50K. This is the one we just, we did this one yet, Ivan?
No.
Okay, tell us the answer. Sounds good to me. How much will X have to pay to Y? Y is 40, then the X is 60%, 60% of 8,000 is 48. What you said? Okay. So, if they give you Y is 40, they don't tell you what X is, you gotta go 40 minus 100 is 60, because you gotta add up to 100%.
So a Y is considered to be 40% responsible for the accident. So 60% of that.
Well, California, we are comparative negligence state. So we can have 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-10, 80-20, as an example.
So then X has to pay, because 40% minus 60% times.
Well, Y has to pay 40% of the damage to X's car, but X has to pay 60% of the damage to Y's car. Because California is comparative negligence state.
What's the difference between that one and the one we had before?
The answer,
Only the answer,
same concept.
same concept.
So if we have another one of these, we'll give it to you. This is the homeowner's one. Again, it's insurance divided by the worth, you gotta go worth times 80%.
In the test, they will give you a calculator, right? In the test, it's only have.
Who give you what?
They'll have, we cannot use our phone, so we give away a phone, but they will give us calculator to calculate.
Oh, on the, if you're taking that as a
Yes,
test site, one of the keys will say calculator, you press that on the calculator.
Okay.
It brings up the one that's like on your phone.
Oh, I see.
Marilyn, what's the answer? You paying 10,000?
Yeah, 10,000.
Well, the fire costs $10,000 loss. If they have, do they have the house insured 80% the value? The answer is no. They only carry 40, so they can't pay 10,000. So you take this 100, put it down to 80% of that, which is 80,000. 40,000 over 80 is 50%. 50% of this number would be the answer. Okay. If you're bad at math, they don't give you that many math questions. Just put C on all of them. But if you know the math questions, then you hope you get a ton of math questions. Well, thank you.
We did this, same drawing chart that we have on three, come up with those.
Say again?
Same drawing chart that we have in three, get all those. You just figure out, or just.
Sometimes if I see something I like or something I've heard.
I see.
Yeah.
Nice, that's a good one.
I learned this from my guy from Iran.
You're right.
This is a little bit different. Andy has an HOP replacement policy. So replacement always has 80% co-insurance clause. He has $100,000 coverage and 20,000 on other structures to be certain the replacement cost for a partial loss. So he has to insure it at least 80% the value, which is 80,000. So this answer would be 80,000. Now, if this would have said to be certain the replacement cost for a total loss, then you'd have to have 100,000.
So the 20,000 doesn't matter?
Nope. Most of the policies on other structures usually 10% of A. This didn't make any difference whatsoever. Could you increase your additional coverages from 10,000 to 20,000? Of course you could. So everything is always based on coverage data. Ben, what's the answer here? So is this a collision loss or a non-collision loss? If you hit a deer, it's a non-collision loss. So collisions impact a vehicle or object or its subset. The exception of the rule is if you hit an animal, they treat that as a non-collision loss. If a rock hits your car or windshield, then it's a non-collision loss. Good job. So with this test, we have to know what the definition of collision is. The impact of the vehicle or object or its subset. You have to know our two exclusions. If you hit an animal or if a rock hits your car, and they treat that as a non-collision loss. I think this, Hoodman, this is yours. Hoodman.
Yes. The driver ever suffers an accident with driver.
So what you also want to do is slow down when you're reading. You don't want to get tripped on one of the words.
Driver suffers an accident with driver. Driver sustains 5,000 damage. While driver B is determined to pay 60% of fault. How much can driver
5,000, what else?
5,000 times 26.
Okay, so 5,000 times 60% is 3,000. Good job. Now, if they give you what driver A was at fault, if he was at 40, that means B is still at 60, because you gotta add up to no more than 100. Okay. Dela Cruz,
75%.
what is it?
75%.
75%. So when you see this question on the test, whatever the earthquake damage is, if it's 10%, then you say 10 minus 100. If it's 25%, 25 minus 100. The rest of this is to trick you. So it's gonna be 75%. Good job. Here it tells you a car crash in the house does 25% damage. So your homeowner's policy covers for that. But it doesn't cover if they tell you the exact amount of earthquake damage you did. Now, if it doesn't say anything from the earthquake damage, then it falls under concurrent causation. This is non-concurrent causation. So, but on this test, they'll say earthquake does 10% damage, 25% damage. You subtract that from 100, that's the answer to the test. Good job on that. Melanie. There's no 75,000 there. Okay, see if that is the answer. Good job. So on the map, scroll down a little bit, make sure you got your numbers correct in the correct place. You start at the end, how much will Mrs. X receive uncompared negligence? So how much is Y responsible for? Mrs. X suffers 10,000, between 25%, that means Y is 75%. So if X is 25, Y has to be 75. It's gotta add up to 100, no more than 100. We have to know these four terms. Now most people won't know this one, except for Dan. Dan, what's the answer? D is in David. You have been paid up to your insurance, which is in the loss. Because we can have two people own a house, one of them be 75% on it, the other would be 25% on it. So in case of loss, the guy who's 75% on his house gets 75% of the check, the other person gets 25% of the check. We have to know actual cash value, which is replacement minus depreciation. Replacement is actual cash value today without depreciation. Stated value is like a PAF policy, personal articles floater. You're paid for the stated value listed in the policy. We have to know all four of these. This is probably the hardest of the four though. Valuation clause. People miss this one all the time on the test. This one's semi-tricky. Jonna, what do you think? See, that's where people get tricked. See, broadest is the best. The broadest is not the best. Special is the best. But people go, oh, broadest, well, broad. Broadest means the best of the lot. So special dwelling is better than the broad one. Tricky little question. The guy who wrote this contract, these questions questions up and was really good at writing up these questions. Gotta ask those guys over there who wrote up this text. I don't know if they'll give me the answer though. This is on test. Representation of past, present, or future is called a verified promise. Promise could be the answer on the test. Now for this test, we also have to know what is misrepresentation. That means somebody lied. So does the client ever lie to us? Yes. I can't blame them, sometimes he's trying to save some dollars. But misrepresentation is a lie. We have to know estoppel. Elba, what is estoppel?
Oh my God.
Let me read. Don't use my surname.
Sorry.
I just wrote it like I thought. I don't know, sorry. I brought it.
Cruz,
Prevents you from exercising a right.
good job.
What is it again?
Estoppel prevents you from exercising your right that you once had. You have to know that. Unverified fact, we're gonna get the answer on the test. These three we will never see promise in the answer, just mark it down. They ask promise in a couple of different fashions. We'll see almost every one that they ask. I know Gianna knows about umbrella policies, because she mentioned it earlier. But we don't wanna trick her too much. So standardized umbrella policies are available on no policies. Oops, sorry, right there. You gotta move that one slide over. Every insurance company can write up their own umbrella, there's no minimum requirements. So farmers can be totally different than state farms can be totally different than Geico's. There's no minimum guidelines for the umbrella policies. So I even, the front office doesn't like people taking pictures. Bullshit. Just let you know. Human loss is also called personal loss. B is in Baker. Now, personnel loss means it affects the business. Personal loss means it affects you. If we're talking about family, that's personal loss. The four things never on the basics: glass breakage. On a homeowner's policy, broad floor, glass breakage is covered at $100 per window, $500 per occurrence. But it's not on the basic homeowners, which is an HO1. In California, we don't sell the HO1 anymore. When you sell the BP1, most people in the dwelling, they sell the BP3, but you could sell the, few of the companies probably still sell the BP1. I would sell it to somebody if they're really tight on their budget. We don't cover water damage on a HO1 or a BP1 or a CP1, but water damage is covered in all the other policies. Collapse during construction is never on BP1 or HO1 or CP1, but it's covered in all the other policies. Phil's home would be covered with slip falling. We will cover collapse due to faulty construction. C is in cat. If it's collapse due to an earthquake, we're not gonna cover that. We don't cover collapse due to an erosion. To get the one for erosion, you either have to get surplus lines broker to sell you that, or it's under a commercial inland marine policy. So we really don't sell either one of these. But if collapse happens due to faulty construction, what happens in real life, the contractor actually fixes the problem. If not, the homeowner's policy will fix the problem, and they go after the contractor for damage he did to the property. But you might have hired somebody who's not even a licensed contractor, the insurance company now has to still fix the problem. So we go back to here. This actually is collapse due to construction. Water damage following others is glass breakage. So I should probably expanded that just a little bit more. Collapse due to faulty construction. know those four, they'll help you for a couple questions on it.
Can you go one more, back, please, one more? And before that.
Recording in progress.
You people, if you want me to go back, let me know, if you have a question, please take your stuff off mute and ask me your questions. Okay, Court, what's the answer on this one?
A.
Good job. Whenever you see problems, always gonna be the right answer. The only other one that could be a right answer here is waiver. Waiver is the intentional relinquishment of the right. Usually this is gonna be in the question, not gonna be in the answer, but sometimes they do flip-flop the questions with the answers. So waiver is the intentional relinquishment of the right. These other two have never been right answers on the test. Ooh, that part of the insurance contract to establish the limits upon the insurer is, what, Sharon?
I was afraid you'd ask me that.
What'd you say?
Insuring agreement?
If I was to give you a second guess?
Declaration page?
Yep, declaration page. So the declaration page is gonna tell you if you auto, how much you have for medical, how much you have for liability, how much you have for your what your deductibles are. Now, if I look at your deck page and there's nothing in collision and non-collision, as far as your deductible, that tells you you don't have that coverage. If it says 0, that means you have a 0 deductible. If you have nothing in those sections, you don't have any physical damage coverage. Good job, declaration page. If I talk too fast, you want me to repeat something, let me know, and then I'll have Dan repeat it for me. Okay, so Sabri, any questions so far? Okay.
Doing good.
Doing good, okay. So, Sabri, there's 2 times when you have to call the police before you call your insurance company. Do you know which one of these you would have to call the police first before you call the insurance company?
One.
Yep.
Have a nice day.
You have a better day.
E.
Good job. He is in baby. Theft of the vehicle. So if your car is stolen, call, I think somebody stole my car. They're gonna ask you, have you done a police report yet? You say no, you gotta call them back. You gotta do the police report first and call your insurance company, because they want that file number. What's the other time you gotta contact the police?
Bodily injury or death.
What's the other one?
Hit and run.
Hit and run. Somebody hits your face off and they're gonna ask you, do you do the police report first? Only guy can prove on that answer. What type of rating systems California use? California is a prior approval state. Most of the states out there are filing use. They can file today, use that new rate tomorrow. Since California sells more insurance than any other state, California says you have to get approval from us before we allow you to change your rates. So a lot of insurance companies have asked for a rate increase, and Department of Insurance says no. What they did is they left the state. Oops, I'm sorry, I went back to the thing. This one is so wordy, so I give this to Melanie.
B.
AB and Associates is an agency which represents the BLG Insurance Corporation. AB and Associates is an agency named BLG Insurance Corporation and is advertisement, except they cannot use AB and Associates underwriting, because they're not the underwriters, they're an agency. So, in a farmer's office, usually, the underwriting is done at the home office. We fill out the applications, we submit the application to the home office underwriter. that homeowner's underwriter, he has control of, say, Northern California or Southern California or Central California, he does all the underwriting for us. Just to make sure the application is filled out properly. This one, we talked about it before, see who should I pick on, Heidi, what do you think? Is that B as in Baker?
Correct.
And God was to give you a second guess. So what I'm trying to get you to do, Heidi, is look for the keyword that goes with approximate cost. Now, nobody interrupt her, take your time, Heidi. Don't interrupt her.
C.
And to avoid hell would be your final guess.
Is it A?
Ah, you want to help. So my keyword is uninterrupted. Now what you do in this test question ID is sometimes they put in answer A, interrupted to try to trick you. Gotta find uninterrupted in one of the answers. So half the time they'll have interrupted in it, to try to trick you, half the time they won't even do that, they'll just have the word uninterrupted in one of the answers. So rather than get it wrong here than at the test site, so you're okay on that. Heidi, what's the answer here? Yep, 1535. Unfortunately, there's only one of these on the test. If there was 50, you'd be golden. Only one of these. Now, CARP is one of our 4 state agencies. So this stands for California Automobile Assigned Risk Plan. If you get turned down by 3 companies, then you get to go to CARP. Which, for the most part, we never really need to do. But our state programs, one is CARP, one is called the FAIR Plan, F-A-I-R, Fair Access to Insurance Requirements for people who've been turned down for dwelling, homeowners, or commercial property policy. So we got CARP, FAIR Plan, and we have the CA, which is California Earthquake Authority, state program, and none of the insurance companies in California wanted to take on earthquake coverage, so the state of California took that upon themselves. And then the 4th one is the state fund. So you have to know your state programs versus your federal programs. So CARP, Fair Plan, CA, and state fund for our state programs. On this one, I think I showed it to you earlier, but DP1 only covers for fire, lightning, and internal explosion. So DP1 covers fire, lightning, and internal explosion, the only one left is the following options. If you do have a question on its asked, they'll say, what unendorsed policy that is only for fire, lightning, and internal explosion? The answer would be a DP1. This one's like common sense, give this one to Dan.
A.
Which one?
A.
Catastrophic, we never see catastrophic, we never cover catastrophic losses. So according to the definition of idea insurance, which is not a requirement, it doesn't have to be catastrophic. Usually those we never cover. It has to be something that's definite and definable, to create economic loss to you, the client, and it has to be accidental. Dan, what's another word for accidental?
Occurrence.
Occurrence. Cruise, what's the answer?
B.
HO3, that's correct. So the best for a single family house, only HO3 works there. The only one that could be better than this is an HO5. HO6 is people in condos or townhouses. HO2 is the broad form, You know, really not too many companies sell the HO two. That would be a little better premium, if the person's struggling, buying the HO two. HO eight is for Victorian houses. That one, passed the law about 3 years ago, that if you have a Victorian type house, you have to now by law revert like it used to be. So the HOA is going by the wayside. What the HOA did, if you own a Victorian house, it would allow you to go, based on the houses today. But if you own a Victorian house, the state of California says you have to revert it as a Victorian house. So HOA is no longer, used that often anymore. A new law that's been in place a couple years is Section 2 of homeless policy covers liability, medical, and workers' comp. So this is mandatory to be on all homeless policy now. This is actually a good law that was passed. It used to be if, say 5 years ago, somebody who was working in your yard and they cut their finger off, if they didn't have a workers' comp policy, they would just put a claim against your homeless policy. Your homeless policy, they would cancel it out and turn it into a workers' comp policy. Now they don't have to do that anymore. So homeowners has liability, medical, and workers' comp. So the answer here would be D as in Dave. We don't cover business pursuits. So if you have a book, keeping company in your house, you came to your house all the time, one of those guys got injured, we don't cover that. But the homeowners policies do cover liability, medical, and workers' comp. That's mandatory in the state of California. Good law. Motorhome insurance policy owned by a cabin covers all the following except what company? Luggage. So motorhomes have awnings that keep the sun from coming in. Most motorhomes have a refrigerator. Most motorhomes have a spare tire. But your luggage is covered under your homeowner's policy, not under the motorhome policy. Now, the state exam, it'll say awning, refrigerator, cabana, and luggage. A lot of the newer motorhomes have a cabana that's a pull-out area, allow you to have shade if you want to stop and have lunch outside, but not in the sun. But luggage is gonna be the right answer. Luggage is covered under a homeowner's policy. How about an HO4? If I have an HO4 in a motorhome, where's my luggage covered at? HO4. Motorhomes, don't cover luggage. HO4 covers your luggage. The primary thing we buy the HO4 for is your personal property, which includes your luggage. I gave you the answer on this one. So, Zoran, what's the answer?
B.
Yep, HO4 is designed to give you personal property coverage. Good job, Zoran.
Wait a minute.
Hi.
Hello.
Are you done? This one's a little bit hard. On the test, I'm gonna ask you, what is transacting? Well, transacting is soliciting, negotiating, execution of a policy transaction thereafter. So which of those four did I not say in these answers? Marilyn?
Is it C?
Taking your spouse to different commission you made, that's correct. So if you're an agent and you take your spouse to your commission you made, that's not transacting. If you used to be in the business and been out of this for 3 years, you still got commissions come in, you can take your spouse here, but it has nothing to do with transacting insurance. But if I'm soliciting to try to get somebody to buy insurance, if I'm writing up a policy with the execution, if I'm explaining to the client the benefits, those are all transacting insurance. You need a license to have that. So you got 2 possible questions on the test for transacting. This is one of them. I'll show you the other one a little bit. We have to know this one for the test. Cruz, what's the answer?
A?
So waiver is the intentional relinquishment
Oh,
of the
no, I'm
right.
sorry, yeah, B, waiver, sorry.
The estoppel prevents you from exercising the right that you once had. Do you remember what subrogation is, Cruz?
Yeah.
Can you tell us?
Mm,
Or maybe ask Gianna.
hold on. It's when I give, my insurance the right to pay for, to collect,
Yeah, so if you have an auto accident and Gianna is your insurance agent, you say, she's gonna call you up one day, say, hey, you want us to take care of this claim for you, you wanna do it yourself? You say, yeah, you take care of it, that's called subrogation, you just substitute your rights over to them to collect on your behalf. This is usually a better deal. They'll pay you the actual value of your car is total. They'll help you collect them the medical, they'll help you collect them the liability. So subrogation, when you transfer your rights over to your insurance, when they collect on your behalf. You have to know that for the test. Adverse selection, who knows what that is, anybody? Risk against the interests of the insurance company. That's called adverse selection. So, if every client that comes in, you tell them to tell you that you only drive 6,000 miles per year, that's adverse to the insurance company. So all your friends, you say, hey, you come to my office, tell me you only drive 6,000 miles per year. But they might drive 20,000 miles per year. See, that's adverse to the company. The proper premium is not being covered for the risk to be given. Zoran, are you still here?
Yes.
What do you think?
A.
And if God was to give you a second guess,
D.
and to avoid help,
C.
good job. So HO4 is usually for a house you own. If the house you rent, what did we sell you, Zoran? Or, no, if you own the house, that's what you would buy, but if I'm renting a house from you, what do I buy?
A renters.
Yep, I buy a renter's policy. Farmhouse can only be covered under the farm policy. Trees has an HO3, she can provide coverage for this farm, she can't use for a house she rents, she can't use for farm, it can only be a single family house. Remember I told you there's two questions on transacting on its S, which is not transacting. Sharon, what do you think? What's the other one?
B,
Which one?
B,
D?
B is not transacting insurance.
You said you isn't David?
She said
B is a boy.
Oh, B is a boy, okay. Obtaining a list of clients, what they're saying it says, and that's correct. It's either gonna say obtaining or compiling a list of clients. That's not transacting insurance. Good job soliciting, negotiating, S-N-E-T. S-N-E, we don't have the T here, so it's gotta be B as in baby. Good job, Sharon. This one's not in the book. I don't know if I put it in the playbook or not. But this answer here is mine substances. We don't cover mine substances. That means that it's, if my house is on a hill and we're down below the hill, a mine tunnel or mine shaft collapse, it affects my house, my insurance is not covered for that. I think I told you this one before, but, this is the one that, I don't think I have it in the playbook, I'm not sure. I told you this one earlier, which is not a risk. So on the test, you say all the following you consider one of the three major types of loss exposures, except, so they're gonna give you three of these, for the, in your your classroom book, I'll tell you 3 of these would be covered. Which one is not covered, Melanie?
Financial loss.
Financial loss. So when you cover liability loss, when you cover human loss under the life insurance policy, property loss, that's under your fire and casualty license, liability is under your fire and casualty license, but none of your insurance policies will cover financial loss. Same for choices on the test. So, first time you do the test, if you just look at the answers, you see financial loss, will always give you the right answer. We don't have to know the question. The less you have to remember for the test, the better off you are. A mutual company allows the depositor to share in the profits. The process where a mutual insurer becomes a stock insurer, what we're doing is, if we go from stock to mutual, it's called mutualization. When we go from mutual to stock, it's called demutualization. Who did that a number of years ago? Prudential did that. They were a mutual insurer and they become a stock insurer. Exactly like this one here. They asked the Department of Insurance, can I become a stock insurer? The Department of Insurance granted them okay for that, and that's called demutualization. A lot of companies go from stock to mutual. But if you go from mutual to stock, it's called demutualization. We talked about this before. Elva, what's the answer? Yep, subrogation. What did insurers right to recover damage from a responsible third party? It's called subrogation. Now, we have to know all 4 of these for the test. Insurance policy are unilateral contracts, so when you ask to perform is the insurance company, you don't. You have to make that payment? Nope. You can stop making that payment, then the insurance company has the right to cancel you out. As long as you make that payment, the insurance company has to give you that coverage. So unilateral insurance policies are unilateral contracts. They have to perform. As long as you're making the payments, your risk will not be great. Liberalization, this could be the question in one of their questions on the test, longest question on the test. We're gonna look for no additional premium, without additional premium, 1 to 4 answers down below. Insurance policy is called contracts adhesion. But that as far as any ambiguity in the contract will be ruled in favor of the client, not the insurance company. So what is covered, what is not covered, the insurance company has to put in their policy. Anything that's gray, you're covered for as the client. Which the following is similar to the auto policy? Guzman, you got your hand up the highest?
Which of the following similar to auto policy is, let's see, auto policy, homeowner policy,
And I give you a second guess?
both owner policy.
Yeah, boat owners. So autos are considered, comparable to boat owners. If they do ask you what policy is similar to the homeowners policy, remember that answer, Guzman? What policy is similar to the homeowners policy?
What policy is
It's not here.
the homeowner's policy is,
Tell them, Erwin,
Business policy.
business owner policies. Good job. Which of the following may be covered under the physical damage insuring agreement of Steve's personal auto policy? Melanie.
Theft of the CD player is probably.
Theft of the CD player. That's correct.
Nobody uses CD player.
We still have a couple old cars out there that have CD players.
My car still has a CD player.
Everybody wants CarPlay game.
Cruz.
Just to remember, was the addition also the take it or leave it one?
What'd she say?
Was, oh,
That's
sorry.
additional, take or leave it.
Adhesion.
Yeah.
Addition.
Adhesion, contracts of adhesion, in the ambiguity of the contract, which is take it or leave it.
Thank you.
What about adverse?
Well, because insurance policies are all contracts of adhesion. It's take it or leave it. That is a good thing for you if you have a claim. So if I have a claim and, my insurance company says, Lee, you're not covered. I would find out who my, adjuster is and ask, what part of my policy says I'm not covered? And if I read that section, it has to say exactly that I'm not covered, otherwise I'm covered. Somebody else have a question?
What about adverse? What is it?
Adverse selection, tell me what that means.
Something that happens. And
Sorry. Yes,
It's against the insurance company's interest. So you're saying that you drive 20,000 miles when in actuality you drive 60,000 miles. So you're not getting the proper coverage for the actual miles that you're actually,
not paying the actual cost.
the cost to.
the risk.
Let's see, 20,000, 60,000 would be the same premium. So if you say you only drive 6,000, that would not be the same premium as driving 12,000.
Okay.
For, I'm sorry, just for the, examination, what would be the keyword for adverse
Risk against the interest of the insurance company.
risk?
Against the interest of the insurance company. You sure are talking a lot today. I don't think in class you ever talk. Unless I ask you a question. How many times have you been to that playbook? Once? All the way?
Oh, no.
She doesn't lie, so. She hasn't even do it only one time yet. You have a test date? When?
On Wednesday.
You have to get, what do you do this weekend?
Oh, it's hard, because my daughter, they have like a fight, and I have to console her, and then she will have to go here, we have to go there, it's kind of so much.
What time on Wednesday?
Morning.
Well, so you can't cancel on that, otherwise they're gonna charge you an additional fee.
You can't?
48
You
hours.
can cancel off 48 hours in advance.
How much is the fee?
Today it would be 48 hours, wouldn't it?
Nope, not 48 hours from
The,
morning.
Okay, let me go.
How much is the
So
cancellation?
the rest of this afternoon,
I will look there.
and all day tomorrow, you wanna go as fast as you can through that playbook. The good thing is, you grasp the concept really good, so that's what you're thinking. When you listen, you know, like, Guzman, who is always thinking. But Guzman, he learns a different way, this is okay. So, as long as everything is geared to pass the test, it's okay. Guzman, let's answer this one. Which one? How do you know that? Do you have a copy of my slides? Probably does.
That's what I know. Rob,
Good job, good job. Three homers, summer, live, cover seed, broad Nate barrels. Good job on that. See, even an old dog can learn new tricks. This one's semi-harder. When it asks for characteristics, you gotta think of what is characteristic of negligence. Well, you have duty to and duty to not reach the rules, breach of duty, positive damage, duty, approximate cause, duty to act and not to act, breach of that duty, approximate cause and damages. D is in David on this one. So this is a semi-hard question. It kind of includes all of the above.
Sorry, wait, one, can I go back? Cause they're all still, thank you so much. Which is also similar, I wanna make sure I get it right. Thank you.
Yeah, on Friday, I think you were the one who didn't remember anything on Friday. Thursday was her last day, she could actually retain anything. On Friday, she was just there to inquire her hours. Which is pretty normal. And you really want wanna pass this test pretty badly. You know, like, Maryland, kids are fighting, well, I gotta take care of those guys. Happiness is not a destination which you like, it's your journey there. Your birthday is also on the test day, that's pretty cool.
It's gonna be good or bad.
Can we have a gift?
The insurance commissioner is appointed by, or is he elected? He's elected by the people. He used to be appointed, by the government, now he's elected by the people. Forgot what commissioner we got way back when he was governor, but we did have a problem with that some years back. This one is interesting, representation in an insurance contract. So what happens if it's an insurance contract, what they did in the law book, if we have representation in an insurance contract, then we assume it's an implied warranty. Usually if it's written in a contract, it's an express warranty, but if it's an insurance contract, it's an implied warranty. Anything else is expressed if it's in the contract. So this is pretty close to one of your top 45 missed questions on the test.
Because
So-
insurance contracts are written, so it makes sense to say express. This doesn't make sense.
What's that?
Elaborate on that.
Well, if you ever saw, let's look around and see if I see the law book, the law book is about this thick on the insurance laws. In it, it says, if something is stated, if we had a contract, we buy your car, anything in that writing is expressed warranty. Anything we verbally say is implied. But they said in the law book, if we make a statement in the insurance contract, it's gonna be interpreted as an implied warranty, not as expressed. So it lets the insurance company off the hook for statements they may make.
But going back to your example earlier, when you said, show me in my contract where I'm covered, show me in my policy where I'm covered, it's all express, right?
Where they have to, by law, put in what you are not covered for. So anything that's gray, then it's interpreted as favoring you, the client, not the insurance company. Because it has to be crystal clear in your policy, what is covered, what is not covered.
Right, but isn't that express because it's written?
That stuff is expressed, yeah. But when it's a gray area, it's still, protecting you. But what they did on the insurance laws, they have one sentence in that book that they say representation in an insurance contract will be considered to be implied warranty. Otherwise, I used to have an express warranty for the test until we found that in the law book. That law book is humongous. Fair value market. Now, fair value we use for auto insurance. Probably you out here. Fair market is similar to actual cash value, gas, and values for automobiles. Similar to actual cash value, but it's not. Here's our 4 state program, and here's our 3 federal programs. So you have to know your state versus your federal programs for success. Okay, Gianna, what is the answer here? Yeah.
5P. B.
B is in Baker? So B is in Baker, federal is NFIP. So you have to remember these are the state programs, CARP, Fair Plan, CEA. Oops, hold on a second. federal versus your state programs for the test. And we have to know a little bit about a couple of those, but we'll talk to you about them when we get to that point. An insured license in California is what, Sharon?
Admitted.
Admitted. Once you get your license, can you work with admitted insurance companies, Sharon?
Yes.
Can you work with non-admitted companies?
No,
Nope.
not unless I'm
Let's say what?
unless I'm special lines or.
Now, for this test, we're gonna have to go to domestic insurers, foreign insurers, and Canadian insurers. Domestic, all that means is where it's organized at. Domestic means it's gotta be organized in California. It doesn't have to be admitted, it doesn't have to be non-admitted, but the main thing for domestic insurance, organized in California. Admitted or non-admitted, still a domestic insurer. So when we come to that question that talks about domestic or any alien, all we care about, if it's domestic, it's gotta be organized in California. If it says foreign insurer, organized in any state other than California. Alien, organized outside the United States. It makes no difference if they're admitted or non-admitted here. Back down here again, common sense question. The Department of Insurance can do all the following in regards to an agent except. So if you decide to have a company, they have to approve your insurance name. They approve you being licensed, but they don't approve your board of directors. That's you who approves your board of directors. They can approve the insurance company that is selling you the insurance policy here. So this last one is a little bit confusing, but for the test, they don't approve your board of directors. You do that, or the stockholders approve that. Court. So all these are factors court to determine your premium, and one of these is less important than the other three. What do you think?
I'm sorry, were you asking me?
If your name is Court, I am.
I don't wanna make sure I didn't miss it.
Yeah, no problem.
Your marital status?
Yep. So we do use that as a factor, but your three main factors, of course, is your driving record, how many miles you drive per year, and your driving experience. But married people pay usually a lower rate than single people. But this is not as important as the other three factors. Good job on that one. How's your driving record, Court?
Free and clear.
Well, do you drive at all, or you have a chauffeur?
No, I drive. I wish I had a chauffeur, that'd be nice.
I know. How many miles you drive a year?
I don't know. Probably an average amount. I drive my kids around a lot.
You drive, we can pretty well ascertain you drive more than 12,000 miles per year?
Probably just about.
Oh, see, you don't wanna say yes to that. So, now if you say yes to that, it means we have to rate you based on over 12,000 miles per year. So it better to be more certain about that one. So if you drive only 11,000, you should let the insurance company know that. So sometimes they try to put words in your mouth, and you agree with them. But if you drive, 20,000 miles, yep, I drive more than 12,000 miles per year. Vehicle electricity only weighs 9,500 pounds. So Supreet, can I sell you an auto, vehicle that weighs only 9,500 pounds? Would that be up to your auto insurance, or would that be commercial? Or you have no idea? Okay, so you're not listening to my question, that's okay. A vehicle discussion only weighs 9,500 pounds, and they will be covered under an auto policy and be used on a farm. So, yeah, so, a vehicle under 10,000 pounds is classified under personal auto insurance. If it's over 10,000 pounds, it is classified as commercial insurance.
Got them, like I said, the
Uh,
passes and the book and stuff.
If it's over 10,000,
Because I still.
you deliver freight for a fee, you can't have an auto. You take neighbors to work for a fee, you can't have personal auto policy.
Not healthy.
But you can use the vehicle on the
So
farm.
should I? Cause they don't have anything
A lot of
like
people
really
use
nearby.
this one on
Am I
the
able to
test.
call
So
them and see?
anything on this, that,
Because they
anything less than 10,000, you can use
They
it on
really
the
have
farm?
like an hour to figure
No,
it out.
no, you may know, if here it says the vehicle is, most of your pickup trucks weigh less than 10,000 pounds. So if you have a pickup truck and you use it on a farm to get corn from the field to the barn, that's covered under your personal auto policy. If you're delivering the corn to the marketplace, to a store, then that would be commercial.
But over 10,000, if it's over 10,000 pounds, then that would be,
That means they have to get a commercial license, commercial insurance on that. It's, classified as commercial.
Do they have the same information that's on the website, or they have better?
The
Sometimes
insurance
they have-
license
they have
terminates
access
when,
to things you don't see.
what we'd like you to do is, write a letter to the Department of Insurance saying I'm gonna cancel my insurance policy. So B is in Baker. What happens in real life, most people just let the license expire. Why waste the time today and use the snap to tell them I'm getting out of the business, but you could. You can't call them up and say I'm terminating. I could call up and say my name is somebody else. So that's not proper, they won't do that. Inactive, what that means is you have a license, but you're not appointed. You can be inactive for 20 years if you want to be. So license termination when you're inactive, so you know, you can be inactive 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, doesn't make any difference. You don't surrender your license to your company, you surrender your license to the Department of Insurance. Now, this is the exception to the rule. If you're shipping something by freight, then that cannot be covered under your personal policies. Once you ship something by freight, you have to get freight insurance for that. So your stamp collection would not be covered if it's being shipped by a freight company. Otherwise, your stamp collection is covered in Canada, because your homeowner's policy covers US territories and possessions Puerto Rico and Canada. PAF would cover that stamp collection. If it's shipped in Canada, shipped by registered mail, shipped to Japan, we can cover that. I don't know if stamp collection we can cover that stuff, but, PAF would cover every place worldwide except for one item. That one item is fine arts. Fine arts is only covered in the US and Canada. Gianna, what do you think?
Collision.
Collision. See, Gianna says there's not enough of these on a test to make her happy. So these are kind of given. Now she has to be carefully, because as if Gianna runs a stop sign, hits another car, what part of her policy covers the damage of the car, and it's gonna be liability. And what damage covers her car is collision.
but if it hits, I'm sorry, if it drives, so if it's a stop sign, that's collision. But if it
No,
runs,
what is damage? Are we talking about the car damage or damage to the sign?
damage to a car is covered.
No, in your question, if she hits a sign, what covers the sign? She hits the stop sign,
Yeah.
what covers that?
Collision.
Nope. Was she driving the stop sign? No.
So it's going to be non-collision?
Nope. Was she driving the stop sign? Nope. So whenever you hit something, that's always gonna be your liability.
If he hits another car,
So we talking about the other car?
if he hits instead of the sign, we're taking another car. That's covers on your liability.
We're done with the other car,
Yeah.
and that's under liability. But your car is still covered under collision.
Oh, okay, my God.
Okay, this one's on the test. Sharon says you've been into that playbook 2 or 3 or 4 times. What's the answer?
Homeowner's policy is just covering the garage. Didn't like it. Cause the car's under the car.
I agree.
Okay,
What's the answer?
the garage only.
Good job.
Oh, well, you're looking at me like I was wrong.
Well, that's the change your answer. So I was looking at the test site one time and I took the test, and I, sitting with the proctor talking to the proctor, and she said, "Lee, people are not changing their answer, we